Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to take a break from the step-by-step nature of this course. So we're not going to be working on building out our fictional university website. Instead, I want to show you how you can import the final finished product that we will have at the very end of this course. I want to show you how you can import that into a brand new empty local WordPress installation. Now, you don't need to do this. I want to stress right away, if you're enjoying the course so far and you've been able to follow along and you like the step-by-step nature of building things with me, by all means, you can skip this video. You do not need to do this. However, for many people, maybe there's a chapter at the end of the course you're interested in and you really only joined this course for one of those later chapters and you don't want to have to follow along with the first 20 hours of the course just to get to that later chapter. Or maybe you're the type of learner that doesn't like the step-by-step nature of this course and you would rather have the finished product that you can start dissecting and working backwards on and maybe reverse engineering or just inspecting a certain feature that you're interested in. Or another reason you might want the finished product site is, yes, this course has always offered the theme folder that you can download as a zip. However, the theme folder is not going to automatically give you all of the plugins that we need, and it's not going to automatically configure all of the settings in the database, right? All of our custom fields, their exact field names and settings, all of the different settings for various plugins. All of that is stored in the database, and it can require a lot of attention to detail and patience to follow along with this course, video by video, making sure you've set all the same settings as me and following along step by step. So, in this video, when you import the finished product into a new empty local WordPress dev copy, it's going to give you everything. Not only the theme folder, but it's going to give you my copy of a finished database. So all of the plugins, all of the settings will all be perfectly configured. Now again, if you're enjoying the step-by-step nature of this course, you can skip this video. However, it might be nice for you to have your one work-in-progress copy of the site and then create an entirely new local dev project and import the final site. So that way you have a working reference that you can compare your copy to. Big picture, there are many different reasons why you would want to install or import the final product. So let me show you how we can do this. So in the local app, you can go ahead and create a brand new empty copy of WordPress. That's what I've done here with this new example. Anyways, once you've created a new empty WordPress site, it should look like this, right? Just a generic empty WordPress project. I have not created a single post, page. I have not customized a single setting. So the question is, how can we take this new empty WordPress site and import the final fictional university project into it? Well, it's actually surprisingly simple. So go ahead and log in as the admin for your new empty WordPress project. So in this tab, I'm logged in, and we just need to install one plugin. So over in the sidebar under plugins, let's click add new. Up here in the search bar, let's search for all-in-one. So we're looking for a plugin called all-in-one WP migration. You'll know it's the right plugin if the author is by ServeMask. So again, all-in-one WP migration. Let's go ahead and install this plugin. Okay, once that completes, then we do also need to click the activate button. Okay, now with that plugin activated, in the bottom corner of our sidebar menu, that gives us this new option down here, all-in-one WP migration. When you hover over it, we're interested in import, right? We want to import the final finished product of this course. So click on import. Cool. Now in this main column area, we just import a file. So we just need to go download from Udemy in the resources for this lesson. Just go download my exported file. So inside Udemy as of today, in the right-hand corner, you can see the different chapters and lessons. So for this lesson, there should be a little resources area. If you click on that, then there's a file that you can download. It's named finished.wpress.zip. So go ahead and start downloading that. I think it's about 40 megabytes. Oh, it's actually only about 30 megabytes. Cool. Now, before we go back into WordPress and try to import that file, we do need to extract it. Because if you look in your downloads folder or wherever you saved the file, you can see that it's a zip file. And the WordPress plugin we're using does not understand zip files. So you should be able to just either double click on it on Mac or on Windows, just right click on it and choose extract. Okay, but once you extract the zip file, you should now have a file just named finished.wpress. So this is what we can go import in WordPress. So from the import screen on that new plugin, just click this import from, choose file. In your downloads folder, choose that finished.wpress file. Okay, WordPress is just letting you know this is going to completely change this copy of WordPress. So it's going to erase everything in this current installation and use all of the new imported data. So do not do this on a website you care about. Only do this within a new empty WordPress or a WordPress installation that you're okay with it turning into a totally different site. Also, do not import this on a live, public, production-ready website. Only do this in a local dev environment. The reason I say that is because the administrator account on this new installation, their username is admin and their password is admin. Also, there's a guest account where the username is guest and the password is guest. So those are not very secure usernames and passwords, but when we're working locally, that's okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and click proceed. So this is just going to take a few seconds or maybe a moment or two. It's already done. So you can just click finish. Now to really make sure that everything worked properly, we do want to maybe go update our permalink structure. So down in the settings of WordPress, click into permalinks. It is going to make you log in again. So I was already logged into my old empty WordPress site, but now that plugin has converted this into the finished product, right? So it's using the database of that finished site. So now that you imported my backup file, you need to use the username and password that I chose. So the username is admin and the password is also admin. So ADMIN. Go ahead and log in. From this permalink screen, just go ahead and scroll down to the bottom, click Save Changes. This will force WordPress to rebuild the permalinks using this new domain of this new site. Okay, and that's it. So now, if I use this link up in the top corner to visit my site, cool. So just a moment ago, this was a brand new empty WordPress installation, and now this is the exact final product that you would end up with at the end of this course. And it's fully functional. So I can click on My Notes up here and create a new note. New example note right now. This is great. Create that. Cool, there it is. Now I will point out the one feature that's not going to work out of the box when we import the site is our campuses page. So if I click on campuses, the Google map is not going to work. And that's because you would need to enter your own Google Maps API key. For now, don't worry about that. We talk about this topic in detail in the chapter where we actually build the campuses map. Also, maybe I can go into the programs up in the top navigation, click into biology, click on Barks a Lot, click this heart icon to signal that I like Barks a Lot, or I can click on it again to remove my like. You get the idea. So everything is up and running. Well, not everything. So yes, the website is up and running, but what about our automated workflow that generates our bundled files and also enables the dev mode where every time you save a change to a JavaScript or CSS file, it automatically updates the browser for us without us needing to manually hit the refresh button. So at the moment, that is not up and running. So right now, let me show you how we can set that up. So the first step is just to locate the theme folder on our computer's hard drive. So in the local app, I'm working on this new example project. So if I right click on that project, I can choose Reveal in Finder. On Windows, there should be an option of Show in Explorer or something similar. Okay, now that's going to show you where that project folder lives on your computer. So let's just click into that folder. And then let's click into the app folder, then click into public. Okay, now these are all the WordPress files. We're interested in this folder of WP-content. Inside that, we're interested in the folder named themes. Okay, and now inside here, we're interested in fictional university theme. So I want you to open this folder up in VS Code. Okay, now this folder already contains all of the files that will power our automation, but we do need to actually install all of the NPM packages. So to do that, just open up your command line. VS Code makes this easy because the command line is already pointing towards this exact folder. So now we just need to say npm install. That's it. So go ahead and type in this command with me. Let's press enter. Okay, once that finishes, now we just run the following command. npm run dev. That's it. Go ahead and press enter. Really quick note from Brad in the future. If your theme folder is named something other than fictional university theme, you will need to go into the webpack config.js file. And you can see this comment up here. It's telling you that down on line number 116, you'll just want to change the path to point towards your theme folder name instead of fictional university theme. But assuming you don't manipulate or rename or change the name of the theme folder, you don't need to worry about this. If you do make that change and save this file, you will need to restart our npm run dev task. So just press Ctrl-C in the command line to stop it and then fire it up once again. Okay, now with that up and running, let's test it out. So back in the browser, if I refresh, maybe let's go save a change to a JavaScript file and see if it appears in the browser. So within the theme folder, let's jump into the JS folder, jump into maybe just the main overall scripts file. And maybe down towards the bottom, right before this comment and the if statement, right about here, we can just say alert, this is a test. Go ahead and save that. Now you'll notice that I'm not seeing an alert pop up saying this is a test in my browser. Now yes, if I manually refreshed or reloaded the page myself, then I would see the alert, but we want automatic updating while we're developing our site. And that's not working yet at the moment. This is because our automated workflow only uses that dev setup where it's optimized for the developer if it knows we're running locally instead of up on the public production copy of our site, right? If we're running our site publicly, we would want to use the bundled assets designed for the general public. So the question becomes, well, how does our setup decide whether we're running locally or it's the live copy of our site? Well, to answer that, in our theme folder, just dig into functions.php. Okay, within this file, we're looking for a function named university files. So for me, it's around line number 48. And actually, to be more specific, around line number 54 is where we see this if statement. So it's saying if the domain where we're currently running this project, if it is fictionaluniversity.local, and you can see I spelled it wrong on purpose. I have an extra L here because I want you no matter what to run into this issue. I want everyone to be aware of how this is working and what's going on. So even if you were using the domain that we use in this course, this is still not going to match. You would obviously need to remove this extra L at the end here. But essentially, if this is true, if that's the domain we're running on, then we use the dev copy of our assets that will force the browser to automatically reload for us anytime we save a change. And they're also all squished together in this one super quick and fast file that only exists in memory. But otherwise, if we're running on a domain that's not this, that means we're probably using our production public copy of WordPress that the general public is visiting. In that case, we want to load and use the assets that are optimized for the public. And those files live in our bundled assets folder. So right now, the reason we're not getting the live reload feature is because this is not evaluating to true. So you would just need to plug in your local domain here. So in my case, up in the address bar, you can see it's new-example.local. So just change this. Again, this is on line number 54 of our functions.php file. Just change this to new-example.local, or you're most definitely using something other than this. Maybe yours isn't exactly the same as mine, but you would just enter that here. And do note that we're not including HTTPS or HTTP at the start. So this is just your domain value here without the HTTP at the start. And at this point, this should now evaluate to true, right? This is the domain where WordPress is running locally. We don't need to change anything else in this file at the moment. So absolutely do not change this line that pulls in the bundled file from localhost 3000. Do not change this to your local dev domain. Leave this as http localhost:3000 bundled.js. So again, the only value we're changing is on line 54, the domain that we're checking for. Okay, now let's go ahead and save this file. And we do need to manually refresh just once in the browser now that will evaluate to true. So if I reload, cool, we see this is a test. Now that would have worked anyways because we manually reloaded, but let's test out the auto feature now. So back in our JavaScript file, if I change this message from this is a test to the sky is blue, hit save, notice I don't have to even switch to the browser or reload. It just automatically uses that newest version of our code. Now what's nice about our npm run dev task is after every save, not only does the browser get updated in real time, but it's also going into our functions.php file and updating these references to the latest copies of the bundled assets versions. And this is for the general public or the live version of our website. So that's it. So we don't need to worry about anything. We just run that npm run dev task in the command line and we're good to go. When you want to actually tell the task to stop watching you, you can just press Control-C in the command line. Now really quick, before we bring this video to a close, I do want to address something. Some of you just do not want to use Node or NPM or any of the automated workflow. And you and I can have different opinions, that's okay. So right now I want to show you what you can do if you don't want to use the automated system at all. So in the finished product file that you imported, if you look in the themes folder, not only was there fictional university theme, but I've also included these other folders called no node jQuery and no node plain.js. So you can go ahead and activate one of these themes from the WordPress admin section, right? If you go into appearance and then themes, the one that's activated by default is the theme that's using our automated workflow. But if you want to activate the jQuery version without automation or the plain JavaScript version that doesn't even use jQuery, just go ahead and activate one of them, and then you would just open that matching folder in your text editor like VS Code. So for example, if I activate this jQuery copy, no node jQuery, if I refresh on the front end, everything still works perfectly. And if you just opened up that no node jQuery in VS Code, you no longer have the CSS folder or the JS folder or the bundled assets folder, but you do still have style.css. Now, obviously, this is not very easy to edit, but this course is not about CSS. But you absolutely do still have this scripts.js file. So this can be easily edited. You can see I've made comments, mobile menu feature. So this has all of the same modules, right? Our search live overlay results, our My Notes feature, and the like feature for the professors is down below. So you can follow along with the course, and instead of having the automated system and the separate JavaScript files, you would just write your JavaScript and follow along directly in this file of scripts.js. I've also included this file named scripts_empty_template.js, and you can see for the sections that we write together in this course, like the live search, it's just an empty class, so you could begin following along. And I've done the same thing for My Notes and Like a Professor. So you could just copy this code into scripts.js and it will be used by WordPress. Okay, and that's going to bring this video to a close. Don't forget, in addition to the admin account that has a password of admin, there's also a guest account with the username and password both being guest, and that would allow you to test out the My Notes feature and the ability of liking a professor with an example guest or student account. I hope this video helps someone out there, and now let's get back to actually building this site together, step by step.